Hello, what I want to do here is I just want to put together a short video demonstrating the appropriate use, the fitting and the use of the slip lead, okay? Slip lead, check cord, check lead, gun dog lead, rope lead, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this is what we've got. We have a lead that looks like this, and we have a loop, a noose, if you like, on the end of it, which basically should be able to move along like this, okay? It should be able to slide. My dog's head, I'm going to demonstrate in a minute on the actual dog, but my dog's head comes through here so that the collar can tighten and loosen, tighten and loosen, tighten and loosen in accordance with whatever it is that I'm trying to convey to the dog at that time, how I'm intending to use this tool. So there's a few things to note first of all. These are really, they're available everywhere, right? So there's no sort of like moral or ethical questions raised at parliamentary level in respect of the use of a slip lead, the use of a rope lead. Let me just show you something.
Now you can imagine if I were to hold my dog like that for a prolonged period of time,
the fact that that is going to cause, is well capable of causing significant injury, distress, pain, escape behaviours in the dog. Used incorrectly, a slip lead is capable of causing those things in a dog. The slip lead itself is a piece of rope. That's all it is. It's a piece of rope which has a noose at the end and a handle at the other end. We have a stopper here so that the slip can only go so loose, so the noose can only go so loose, yes, around the dog's neck. So I can reduce that. This one's brand new, so it's quite nice actually, it's quite nice and stiff. So I can reduce that depending on the size of the dog, because obviously I don't want some massive great loop like this hanging around my dog's neck, because obviously it's going to be able to back out and walk away. So I need to be somewhere in between. It needs to be loose, but it needs to be capable of delivering the check correction that the lead is designed for. Okay, and they're also quick release. So I put it on, I whip it straight off if you want the dog to run around, exercise, if you're working with your dog or whatever. But yeah, it is quite funny, if you like. Well, it isn't funny, not in a humorous way, but it's interesting. There's the word, interesting. It's interesting to note that this benign piece of rope could be used in such a manner as to hang me if it wanted to. And let's take this away. Let's say that we've just got a normal lead. We've got a normal lead. So at the end of the lead here is my little G-clip that I clip onto my dog's collar. And at the other end of the lead here is my handle, right? A dog lead, a straight dog lead. Now, everywhere, sold everywhere. Put it around, put it through, pull it on,
lift it up. I have exactly the same principle as I would have with the slip lead by using a normal lead
and putting the actual lead through the handle. There is an uproar about the sale of dog leads, but a plain dog lead, a piece of rope, a piece of webbing, a piece of leather is capable of causing significant harm, injury, distress, fear to a dog. In itself, a normal dog lead is simply that. It is a normal dog lead. But if you have a moron on the end of it who decides that they get a kick out of hurting animals, then even with my hands I can do that. Okay? The lead, the flat normal dog lead, is not designed for that purpose, but it can be used for that purpose. The slip lead is not designed for that purpose, but it can be used for that purpose. And the thing that makes the difference between the tools, between any tool, is this: my own personal intention, my twisted mind, if I'm the sort of person that's going to actually want to pull that tight or yank really hard and cause injury to my dog. Okay, so as a start out, this video assumes and presumes that if you've taken the time to be bothered to sit and watch it, then you aren't the sort of simpleton who is out there looking to cause injury, distress, fear, avoidance, or whatever to your dog. You want to train it, right? You want to know how to use a tool properly, which is why I'm showing you. Okay, so the slip lead goes onto the dog, and the thing to remember, if you can see this, right? So the lead slides along. There's a little O-ring on there, the little silver O-ring. Let me bring this in. See a little silver O-ring on there? that slides up and down. That should be nice. See how much room there is in there for that one to move about? So it slides very, very freely. That's important. If you get yourself a big fat slip lead, it will stick in the loop, in the O-ring, and it won't slide as well as it should. Okay, so there needs to be free movement through there. See how nicely that slips along. The reason being is because for a slip lead to be effective, the correction needs to be instantaneous. So if I have a dog on here and I correct, and I release, it's gone. See, I'm now back to loose. Nice fast correction, I'll show you that again. Fast correction and instantly loose. So the dog's wearing the lead, correction, loosen off. Okay? So for that to happen, as my dog's head is going through this lead, okay, so I'm going to walk my dog on my left-hand side. I'm assuming I'm on my left-hand side. I don't know if I'm out of shot of the camera here. But the lead is going to come onto my dog, right around the neck. I'll demonstrate it in a moment. The part that I'm holding here, all right, the main body of the lead, the main length of the rope, comes over the top of the dog's neck. It comes over the top, okay? So this slides, so I can correct, release, correct, release, correct, release. So it's very smooth, it's very quick, and I'm not maintaining a pressure on the dog, and I'm not allowing the dog to maintain a pressure that neither one of us want to happen. Okay, if I turn this around, if I put it on the wrong way around, so now my dog's here, but the main body of the lead, here's my dog's head, and the main body of the lead is coming out the bottom. It's coming out the bottom. So what happens now, see it's coming in here underneath what would be the dog's neck, rather than over the top of the dog's neck, it's coming underneath. So when I take the main body now and I check, what happens is the lead remains tight. It doesn't release. So in order for it to release, I need the main body of the lead, the main length of the lead should be over the back of the dog's neck. Okay? So that when I correct and I release, I get that sliding action. I get that smooth release action. All right? I'm going to call my dog over a minute and I'm going to demonstrate with you how a slip lead should look on the dog. Tilly, heel. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so here's Tilly, sit. Good girl. And I'm going to put this slip lead on her, right? So I'm going to tighten it up as it should be. There you go, sweetheart. And that's how a slip lead should look. When I'm walking her on that slip lead, that's how it should look. It should be loose. It should sit nice and loose around there. I don't want it so that this stopper here is pushed out. You're a good girl. It's pushed out. I don't want it like this, so it's tight, because I can't correct her. And she can't feel the difference between a tight lead and a loose lead. And that's imperative, because if she doesn't feel that difference, then it's unfair for me to start yanking around on it. Because all I'm basically doing is pulling her. I'm not giving her the opportunity to learn what it is that is required to prevent or remove the tightness of that slip when it happens, the correction on that slip. So any time that this lead is loose, I can smooth, I can praise, I can give food rewards, and you know, it's all a positive experience for her. But she needs to realise that when the lead, I'm going to take this back as it should be, so we're sitting there, but when the lead is like this, that's when the negative comes. There's the positive. The positive is when we're loose, right? There's a mastiff behind you that's she's just about to start singing at the door. Right, so this is how the lead should look. So the main body of the lead is coming over the back of the dog's neck. Yes, to put this lead on incorrectly, heel. Good girl. So to put this lead on incorrectly, I'm now going to put the main body of the lead coming out the bottom of the neck. That is how the lead should not be applied. See as well, it slides around here, right? So the slip lead comes on over the top of the neck. Bear with me. Tilly, heel. Good girl. So it's over the top of the neck and we're loose. We're keeping that loose. Then when I give a correction, it's a sharp tug and an instant release. A sharp tug and an instant release. Okay? Good. Finish. And that is basically how to use a slip lead, how you fit a slip lead, and how the correction comes on. What you don't do with it, I'm going to use myself, right? So what you don't do with a slip is this. Okay, that's neither here nor there. I'm not doing anything. I'm just applying a bit of pressure. I'm just applying a bit of pressure. And what you'll get is a dog that pulls into that.
And when a dog pulls into this, it's pretty uncomfortable for the dog, which is why you see dogs walking along on half checks, on slip leads, and on full check chains. They're going like that because they haven't got any option, because they're not being taught properly. The tool isn't being used correctly. If you have a dog that walks like that on a slip lead, for goodness sake, take the slip lead off and put your dog onto either a flat collar, a normal flat collar and a straight lead, or even put it onto a harness, because the tool is being used incorrectly. Dogs should not be walking like that in a slip lead. A dog should be walking in a slip lead like this. And a correction on the slip lead, straight on, straight off. Correction on the slip lead, straight on, straight off. So I'm not choking. This is going down loose again. But there's a definite instantaneous sensation that I feel that breaks my attention, that gets my attention. And to be honest, it's not particularly comfortable. It's not putting me through the roof or anything. It's not painful, but it's startling. It's corrective. It interrupts me. It stops me. It breaks my train of thought. It refocuses me. Now, if all I'm going to do is walk around with the dog and bing, bing, bing every single time the dog's wrong, I'm not going to get very far. And my dog isn't going to learn a great deal. So I need to pull my finger out of my backside and learn how to reward that dog as well. I need to include heavy elements of positive reinforcement. Whatever floats that dog's boat, it doesn't have to be food, it doesn't have to be toys, it can be praise, it can be the ability to come off the lead and run and play. Premac principle. Take away play by putting on the lead, walk nicely on the lead, take the lead off, give play. Yes, a less likely behaviour makes a more likely behaviour happen. All right, there's lots and lots of different things that I could go into here, but just basically, if you remember nothing else with regards to using a slip lead, make sure that the lead sits so that it has play, so that it is loose enough. I think I described to somebody it should be like a solitaire drop pendant. Okay, so it should be loose when it's being worn. When it's corrected, it comes on and it's instantly released. It's a sharp correction. We don't hold leads on like this because that shows that it's being used incorrectly, and it is unfair and it is cruel, to be honest with you, to the dog. To keep that constant pressure on like that with no communication at all. It's not fair. Okay, so it's a sharp correction. Equally, if you're going to correct the dog on a slip lead, you don't come in with some half-hearted little woolly one of these, okay? Unless you've got a really small dog or a very, very sort of like shy, sort of like timid dog, you know, in which case you'll probably find that you don't need a slip anyway. If the dog is that, handler focused, that sort of like environmentally unsure, then just reward the heel position. Reward the position that you're in. Or if you've got a small dog, just use a straight lead and collar. Just bring back, reward, move on. You know, not every dog tool fits every situation or every dog. That said, small dogs can wear slip leads, there's no problem. But it just depends on the temperament of the dog, the size of the dog, the drive in the dog, if you like, the intensity of the dog's desire to pull ahead or to behave erratically on a lead. All right, but a slip lead, I hope you can see it's a piece of rope. That's all it is, or a piece of leather or whatever. But it just slides smoothly. There's nothing more to it than that. If you want to blame this tool for anything, there it is. It's not jumping up and doing anything. It's not hurting dogs. It's not doing anything whatsoever. You know, it's a piece of rope. The only thing capable of making that anything more than it is me and what's going on up here. Okay, I hope you found that of some benefit. I'll try and put some footage together of some actual slip work with a few dogs in the near future, and I'll tag them onto this. If you've got any questions at all, jamie@taketheleadtraining.co.uk, website www.taketheleadtraining.co.uk, and I hope it's beneficial. Get out there, train your dogs and enjoy yourself. Cheers, thank you.